Guys, Cam with Inky Knuckles here, coming at you on this lovely Monday night with a little bit of art show and tell, a little bit of announcement time, and just use it as an excuse to hang and chat with you guys. Going to keep it a little short and sweet. This Monday night slot's not great because I think Bill's live right now on CAF. But I had some show and tell I wanted to get moving with, and a couple announcements for this week. So in saying that, I'm just going to put out the blast on Instagram while we wait for folks to join. Last week was it last week, 2 weeks ago? Our last live show with Maria announcement was really great. Lots of people tuned in. Gonna try and do this more regularly at a regularly scheduled time when we're not tripping over anyone else in the hobby. But until then, it's been a bit sporadic. So just going to wait a few more seconds here, and I'm going to send out the blast on the social medias. Hey Neil, how you doing, sir? Long time no see. Are you gearing up for the Saskatoon show this year? Well, there's lots of art to be had, Neil. Yeah, Neil and I have had some good times at the Saskatoon show. Smaller show, but one where there's always lots of art to be had. Lots of great art. Some permanent pieces in my collection. Some others that I bid adieu to. Mikhail, how you doing, sir? We've got. I think I got a Francis Monopool commission there one year. I've got some stuff from Riley Rosmo. All bangers, because there's not a lot of art collectors at that show, but the few that go are rabid. Those small shows are always great for snagging lots of art. So yeah, I know I'm probably not going to have a ton of viewership tonight, but we'll post this to the YouTube later for you guys to take a peek after. But I did want to just show you guys some art. Two two commission lists, or 2 packages full of art from commissions from Marcial, Toledano, and Kevin Castanero came in a week ago. Kevin's been waiting on for a while, and Marcial's kind of got caught up in transit shipping from Spain, and Kevin shipped those off to me, and I thought, before I get these on the road to all the rabid collectors, I wanted to do a little show and tell on top of a few other things. So without further ado, we're going to show off Marcial Toledano. This is the classic Green Lantern, full color. As you can see, Marcial's pieces almost they're unbelievable in how clean they are. I don't want to say Marcial's a colorist by trade, but he definitely masters his colors. I think he's done a lot of color work for, I think, is it Javier Fernandez? He's definitely a master of color work, and you get him with his super clean lines. And that's the result. I'm going to bring up, just going to share my screen here with, it is a banger, Mikhail. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just trying to share my screen with you guys. I actually have the scan of that Green Lantern. Right here. Get rid of that to give you guys a little bit of a closer look at how great this piece is. Like I said, Marcial's watercolor work, second to none. I have a commission from Marcial. I've shown that off more than once. I haven't got it up on the wall yet. It's always more challenging to find. I'm going to have to get that custom framed. A3 frames are always a little harder to find than 11 by 17. But this is an A3 commission. As you can see, Marcial's color work is amazing. He's kind of got that classic, I don't know if he'd agree or not, but there's a little Darwin Cook in what he does. Maybe not quite as stylized, but masters his colors, has a truly classic look. And hoping to see more Marcial's work on Western comics, specifically. I don't know if he's going to be doing work for the big two here soon or not. He's just working with a Belgian publisher at the moment, and hoping to see maybe a little bit more of his stuff over here. I never want to say it's the end goal to have the European artists doing work in North American comics, but usually it just allows us access, because I think a lot of Marcial's books, I don't think we've got any English prints of those. So when I say I'm excited about him potentially doing some more work on North American stuff, I think it's mostly just for access, because I am not bilingual. Used to speak a little bit of French in high school, but that's long since forgotten. So next up, another piece from Marcial, Psylocke and Magic. Again, hyper classic pose, give them some funky characters, really let them flex with the colors. And another great piece. This is another A3 commission. And if you give me 1 second, I will pull up the scan for you guys to peruse. If I have it here. Well, I'm for some reason I can't find that one. Okay, well, I don't have that scan, but as you can see, Psylocke and Magic, killer piece, going out to very lucky and patient collectors. Marcial puts everything into these commissions, and it's really makes them worthwhile, makes them count. I know I could be happier with the one that I got. And I don't know if I'll just show this one since I didn't have the scan of the Psylocke, but this is for our pal Brian from Marcial's first commission list. This might have even been his first commission he ever did with us. Can't remember. But just as a stark reminder of how incredible Marcial's work is. This is one of my all-time favorite, not just pieces from Marcial, but Inky Knuckles pieces any of our artists have ever done, since we started working together. This is an all-timer. I wish I had commissioned this. Just a mastery of colors, really sets the tone, and it's very immersive. Hey, Kev, the other man of the hour. That is watercolor. Marcial is a bit of a crazy person when it comes to how detailed and how clean his color work is. And I've told the story a time or two before. It was Gerardo Zaffino who brought Marcial's work to my attention and basically told me, you got to talk to this guy. So Gerardo's a huge fan, and Gerardo kind of hooked it up. But yeah, just showing this one. This was, like I said, I think one of the first commissions Marcial ever did with us. And for our pal Brian, it's in a good spot. One of my favorite ones, one I did not want to pass on. I would have liked to have kept it. Okay, moving on. Next up is Captain America. Kind of a classic pose with the flag. I think the request was specific. Awesome. Like I said, Marcial's kind of got classic work, classic designs. He really just lets the craft shine with what he does. So this is another A3 beautiful piece, mantle worthy, as I like to say. I'll show you guys a scan of that because that one I do have. I just have to find it, which is all of a sudden challenging. Oh, I actually don't have that one either. Oh, no, I do. Sorry. I actually found the Psylocke one as well. So have a look at Captain America from Marcial. Yeah, if you're clean, crisp, timeless, I'd say Marcial's work is very timeless. And like I said, I want to see him on more comics and some comics that are translated so I can read them. His one, Les Dominantes, I think that's how you say it. It's utterly gorgeous, and he puts so much into all these pages, but it is in French, and I don't believe there's an English version. But yeah, Marcial's storytelling is wonderful. Okay, so there's Captain America. Kind of gets you guys a closer look of some of this. Clean, crisp, awesome line work. And then there is a scan of Magic and Psylocke that we didn't have for you guys before. So Marcial is not the commission announcement tonight, but he is going to tackle a few more of these once he's done his current project. I'll let you guys know that list is going to be very limited. Just like I said, he puts so much into these, and to try and the level of work and detail he puts into these similar to what he puts into his covers and his sequential pages. So it's Marcial takes no shortcuts, and it's very time intensive, but the product is utterly stunning. So this next one, I've got a few here. I actually forget this guy's name. This is for our pal. I don't know if I should say too much because it's an ongoing project, but I won't share the scan. I'll just show you guys the picture. Thanks, guys. Chad, Mikhail, Jameson. Yeah, these are really beautiful pieces. This next one was a A3. This is going to be used as a cover for our pal Michael Finn's Golden Age project. Sorry. Actually, I'll show you guys a quick scan of that. I just don't want to. I know Michael's got this ongoing. I just don't want to spoil anything. Although I think this has probably been seen on the social medias. Another cool, crisp, classic piece. Marcial was kind of a perfect choice for the project. I think Marcial's a perfect choice for a lot of things. So any American, Canadian, North American publishers out there want to get Marcial on something, now's a good time to ask. I say that selfishly, but would love to see him doing more over here. So there is that piece. Like I said, Marcial's kind of classic design work, timeless. Plus, he's got just impeccable watercolors. Yeah, Mikhail, they do. And he does most of his. I think he does all of his like sequential work, digitally. But because I know it's a lot more time intensive as it tends to be. Than doing these traditional. So I know every time I chat with them, and you can tell it takes a lot out of him, but he does like to do them from time to time. So like I said, there'll probably be an opportunity coming up fairly soon. It's going to be even more limited than these last few, just because of how time intensive they are. But maybe if I bug him enough, he'll do a couple covers or something traditionally and send those over here. I'd love to do that. We just had that mini art drop a little while ago, some specialty pieces he had done, but that was kind of it. Next up for our Palaranga, Spidey 2099 into the Spider-Verse. Marcial, for most of these, Marcial has like 3 or 4 layouts he kind of plays with. He kind of does like a bit of a color study digitally, and then usually you get to pick. Sometimes he'll just pick a design and run with it. But for the most part, there's a few different layouts. This was the one Oranga decided upon. Very awesome watercolor piece, and I've got the scan right here. Yeah, always like Marcial's city backdrops. Give him an opportunity to contrast some colors and do some really cool things. Spidey 2099 was a great choice. We kind of get some greens at the bottom and kind of the glimmer of light. Very awesome choice. So that was an A3 watercolor commission. And lastly, from Marcial is one of my favorites he's done. This thing is unbelievable. I talked about the Usagi piece was really great. My Ragnarok Thor, the whole shebang for these ones. But this one was Blueberry, the Western. And Marcial did this. It's tough to see here because even the blue in his eyes is very sharp and distinct. Very, capturing the essence of the character perfectly. Beautiful. I don't want to say simple composition, but subtle, quiet, and my favorite piece of the bunch, utterly gorgeous. And I will show you the scan because that did not do it justice. The scan doesn't do it justice either, but at least you'll kind of get a better look at some of the intricate little details and the color scheme used. Show it to you guys here. This one screams cover, omnibus cover or something. For whatever reason, when I think of like non-North American comics, Marcial's, I just picture this image for whatever reason. Not this image, this styling. But yeah, this was just, like I said, subtle design. Utterly gorgeous. And that is Blueberry. So that is the Marcial Toledano art show. Gonna get these commissions out to some folks. And then just kind of be on the lookout for a commission announcement, limited one, coming up fairly soon. So next up, the man of the hour. He's actually on here right now. I should have bugged him to actually come on, but I figured he might be might be on parenting duty at the moment, so didn't want to harass him. But Kevin Castanero, not only are we going to look at Kevin's commissions, this is also our opportunity to let you guys know that he's doing a commission list. We're opening right now. So if you're interested, Cam at inkyknuckles.com for Kevin Castanero commissions. We're about to do his art show. But now we can get on the list early. So the benefits of tuning in, hanging with me. So before we get into it, I just want to make that announcement. I'll make it again later on for folks who are hopping off and on. And like Marcial, maybe to the biggest extent of anyone, I think Kevin is leveled up in a way that I've always loved his work, but the sheer consistency in line work and detail and just compositional elements of this last set of commissions that Kevin did is just drop my jaw. Unbelievable. I'll show you the scans too, but this is the first up, 11x17. It's Big Trouble in Little China. There's no way my shitty computer camera is going to pick up on all the work Kevin put into this one. Absolutely love the design, love the layout. And Kevin, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still on here, what I noticed about these last commissions is how heavy you leaned into the lines, the tight line detail. I'm not sure if you used any screen tones on these. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because usually you employ a little bit of that. But what I think I love so much about these ones is that, Kevin, you becoming a dad made me art better. Wow. I'm not going to disagree. I've always thought your art was stupendous. But like I said, this last round of commissions, and even we'll get into it more on your craft, Kev, as we dive deeper and as I get you and Brian Level on here. That explains it. The screen tones, no screen tones because Kevin didn't have any. When, I don't necessarily have a preference one way or the other. Lots of guys use them to varying degrees, screen tones. And, you guys, you leave the technique into your guys' hands. But I did really, really love and appreciate how like your line work on these, Kevin. We're talking about Kevin Castanero. For those who don't know in the chat, he is Count Pagan. My only gripe with Kevin is that, hey Rod, early list, sir. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. And with Kevin's list here, I wanted you guys to see these firsthand, just to see how great they were. But back to my issue with Kevin is that he's got a different name on his email and on his Twitter and on his Instagram and even on the chat in the comments. So I'm just ribbing you, Kevin. I know that that's you, but I just want to clarify for everyone else that the Count Pagan is the amazing Kevin Castanero, in case you guys didn't already deduce that. So Big Trouble in Little China, just give me a second and I will show you guys the scan. Where is it here? Sorry guys, I should have had this stuff queued up a little earlier, but shit happens. There it is. Big Trouble in Little China. Awesome work. I feel like Kevin is Kevin's been on his A game for quite some time. I'm just really impressed in the different approaches to like the compositional elements of every piece. Kevin's always going to deliver crazy detail, crazy stylistics, I'm making shit up now. His stylings, it always makes for really fun work to look at, but it's just the compositional, everything kind of carried a bit of a different style or a different composition. Each worked equally well, right from fight scenes to Kev does the gory stuff insanely well, but then has some, especially the Umbrella Academy one here is kind of, it's more of like it's more static as a piece. But yeah, now I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about things you guys can't see. Like I said, next up, Umbrella Academy. And I'm sure you guys have seen these if you follow Kevin or me. I think I've posted most of these on the socials, but they are in hand and going to a bunch of lucky collectors. Installments, Neil. Yep, just shoot me an email at cam@inkyknuckles.com and we'll chat there. We're usually pretty flexible with stuff like that. So another beautiful piece, and let me bring up that scan so I can get a better view, because I tend to have bad lighting in here and a shitty camera. So there it is. These have all been, I think the only ones I have from Kevin right here are 11 by 17. There's something so perfect about a full bleed, as some of my pals like to call it, edge to edge, 11 by 17 pencil and ink commission. I think that's the purest thing that can happen in this hobby. And I think Kevin has mastered that. Sorry, I haven't cropped off the goofy border around the scan yet. I just scanned these not that long ago. And another amazing piece from Kevin. Next up, sorry guys, just remove that. I'm not sure which is my favorite of the bunch, but I'm gonna leave the one till last. Next up, Guts versus Wolverine. Like I said, Kevin does gore really well. I'm not sure if you guys have checked out the other stuff, Can't Kill Cade, Grit. There's nothing more fun than watching Kevin tackle Gore. Ryan. I feel like Kevin's art bleeds beyond the pages and into my brain. That is the perfect description. We should put that as a testimonial on the site. I love that. Here's Guts and Wolfie. And even just the subtle background elements, the headless dudes and the spikes. And I mentioned earlier talking about, Kevin doing some static stuff on some of these commissions. It's weird when I use that phrase because usually there's so much movement in everything Kevin does. You can almost see the motion of the figures coming together. So when I said static, I was just referring to just a slightly different compositional element. Okay, and I'll show you guys this one here. Guts versus Wolfie. There it is. With some blood splatter for effect. And no shortage of damage happening here. My 4-year-old, he plays little fighting video games, and his older cousins tell him that the characters are taking damage. So anytime my little guy Jack sees something like this, he'll just not that I necessarily show my 4-year-old this one, but he always asks me if is that damage? Is that damage? And yes, it is. Killer piece from Kevin the Man. Okay, next up is this one. Drew some eyes online, as this choice tends to do. This is Dark Knight and Carrie Kelly from our pal Joe Atala. Joe, excited to get this to you. Joe's a big Dark Knight collector. He's bought quite a few commissions from us, and Kevin laid this one out horizontally, which is awesome. Fighting some of the mutants and those guys, and lots of little Easter eggs. Kevin outdoes himself. I'm not sure if you guys recall the Wolverine Weapon X double pager that Kevin had done. Just give Kevin an excuse to draw a bunch of goons, and it's going to turn out fantastic. And since Kevin ran out of screen tones, he went absolutely mental in the detail with these guys. I say that in jest, but it's a beautiful commission. So I'm going to just pull this one up too, if I can find it. There it is. Just gotta lay it out the right way. There it is. DKR, Dark Knight Returns, Bats, and Carrie Kelly wiping the floor with a bunch of bad guys. Like I said, full bleed, just like some pals call it. Edge to edge on the paper. I feel like Kevin needs a new size. 14 by 20. I think even then he'd outdo himself on that. So another beautiful piece from Kevin, 11 by 17. Okay. And lastly, Rom. This is my favorite of the bunch. I love seeing Kevin's kind of fluid designs. with his characters and his monsters, and there's so much motion. And then you get a character like Rom, who has very defined characteristics, kind of blockier, distinct, and just that little bit of contrast between Kevin's slithering, gory filled monsters spewing blood and arms and limbs, and then you get Rom with those tightly defined, kind of symmetrical characteristics. This is my favorite of the bunch. And again, the composition here, I feel like it's perfect. I feel like this, when that request came down for Rom, I feel like that it couldn't have been cooler than this. This is 100% Kevin. Captures the character perfect, exactly who it is, and you get all those awesome touches. Even with the black background, it kind of gives a level of depth on this one that is beautiful. So let me pull the scan up here. Glad you guys don't show up over here for the production value, because Bill is much more on top of things than I am. That guy's a maniac, but you'll get to see cool art. Okay. And here we go. Rom. Catching up on comments a bit. Fingers crossed, Ryan. Fingers crossed. Kev, while you're on here, are there any requests you're hoping for on this next round, or are you just taking the bring it on approach? Again, that's another 11 by 17 commission. The purest of the pure, pencil and ink, 11 by 17 commission of your favorite character from Kevin Castanero, the Magic Man. So that concludes Kevin's portion of the show. As I mentioned, Cam at inkyknuckles.com. It's in the comments. Most of you guys already know it. Email me. I think he does too, Rod. I definitely think he does. If anyone on here is after one early, we're going to make the announcement tomorrow officially. Be fairly limited. It's been time intensive for a lot of guys, and Kevin especially. There's a lot that goes into these. I don't know if you guys caught some shows from a while back, but just watching the level of detail and what he puts in. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Making magic happen here, guys. I'd make a suggestion on which doctor to commission, Rod, but I have to go back through our correspondence to remember which one's which. So yeah, that's I'm no help. But so guys, yeah, I'm going to do one more quick thing here towards the end. But if you're after something from Kevin, get at me soon, because these latest ones I think have blown a lot of people's brains a bit. So not blown their brains, blown their minds a bit. So get on. It'll probably fill up pretty quick, and you guys all get a bit of an advance notice. So Cam at inkyknuckles.com. Kevin rules, and on top of just the killer work he's been doing, I've chat with him and some of his collaborators behind the scenes a bit, and they're up to some shenanigans that you guys are all going to love. So can't wait for that. But commission Kev while you can, because he's going to be a busy man soon. Cam at inkyknuckles.com. So lastly, I just wanted to just a quick reminder for those who are on the mailing list. And if you're not on the mailing list, why not? But made the announcement today, just all the proceeds from basically with Vlad, I don't have to get into what's going on in Ukraine right now, but our good pal Vlad Legostaev is over there, and he's from there, and so he's not having a very good time right now, just like the rest of the people there. Horrendous, tragic. It pains me to even read up on some of the stuff, but I do chat with Vlad from time to time, and spirits are high, but what he's going through is not fun, and there's no sugarcoating how horrendous it is. So I won't even try. But what we decided to do, and we'll see how it goes. I just want to make sure we're continuing to support him through this. But basically, 100% of the proceeds from any of his sales go directly to him. So there's no, with all transactions, there's rep fees, there's other fees, there's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes. So basically, whatever you buy from Vlad, 100% of the proceeds will go directly to him. And then anything else on the site from any artist, Inky's portion of those sales or those proceeds are also going to go to Vlad, and with some relief support for Ukraine. Just wanted to have, support him in any way we can. Vlad's awesome. I'm not sure if anyone's on his Patreon, but you should sign up on his Patreon. He released some old pages that him and I had actually collaborated on years ago. I hired him and Artyom, Stefano Cardacelli, to do a little anthology series for me. And Vlad, this was well before we worked together on the original art side of things, but Vlad's an awesome guy. On top of being an incredible artist, he's always been an unbelievable person, unbelievable collaborator, and just an all-around great guy. So so we're going to be like I said, all the inky portion of art sales over the next week, it's all going to go to Vlad and the Ukraine support relief effort, and 100% of the proceeds from his art sales will go directly to him. So just a small little thing we wanted to do. And if anyone was kind of on the fence, or waiting for a time to buy a page, or you had your eye on something, now is a good time for it, because get to support our good pal and Ukrainian master of pencil and ink. But in saying that, I had some of his art in front of me. There it is. Sorry. Lost it there for a second. Handful of pages directly from Vlad that are left. 2 covers specifically, and those I think are what I'm going to show you. He'd done some specialty pieces. First up is this one. You guys, spooky. I forget what this. It's in Ukrainian. I forget what the. This is on the site. I can pull that up here for a second. But this might be my favorite cover he did. Really spooky, heavy detail, full of that Vlad awesomeness. So this cover is available along with this one, another spooky Halloweeny thing. Vlad, I think, really he really excels in kind of the scary stuff. I shouldn't say just that, but I really like these spooky covers. He's just got a penchant for really great line work. His use of tones is always bang on. Okay, I need that on a shirt too, I think. So there's those, plus, and here, just hang on one sec, guys. I'm just going to post the link if you want to have a peek at what's available from Vlad. But like I said, it's the proceeds, Inky's portion of the proceeds for any art sales from anybody are going to Vlad and the support effort for Ukraine. I just posted the link. And thanks everyone who's already bought some pages. I know a bunch of stuff moved earlier. There are still, the cover to the Ukrainian edition of Nowhere Near is still available, along with just a few pages. I think 2 or 3 pages. 2 or 3 pages from Nowhere Near. And if you're unfamiliar with that, if you're unfamiliar with this in general, get off your ass and go get a copy. I say that with love because Cry Punch is awesome. This is the gift that just keeps on giving. There's not once I picked up this book and haven't had an absolute joy of a time with it. This is Al Gofa's. This is a Nouveau System imprint. Cry Punch, crowdfunded. It's got I'm not sure how many stories, to be honest. A bunch of artists you guys know, including Nick Dragata, Al, Maxime Juran, Vlad, and a lot that I wasn't familiar with before that have really kind of changed the way I look at and read comics. But Cry Punch is honestly one of the best books out there. And like, look at this thing. But so when I'm talking about Nowhere Near with Vlad, is his story in the book, just a self-contained single 25 or 30 page story, is a true standout in the book. And I told Vlad this in a book full of amazing, amazing stuff. Vlad's story is a true standout. So there's only a couple pages left. The Ukrainian cover, and I'm not sure how it was published, but that is available as well. Although I don't think you'll find the cover in Cry Punch. But like I said, in a book full of absolutely unbelievable storytellers, this Vlad's story is a true standout. And I know he put a ton of work into it. So a few pages left, some covers, some other stuff. Rick, it's very meaty. It is the meatiest of all books. I don't know if Al, our pal Al Gofa, I don't know if he's listed how many pages there are, but it's ridiculous. Borderline overwhelming, but I forget where I am half the time, go back to read different stories. But just a very joyous, awesome book. What comics and storytelling is all about. So if you want something from Al's story in here, go get it now because there's only a few pages left, like I said. So that is that. We've got, so like I said, guys, I'm going to keep it, obviously I'm going to keep it to like 20 minutes. We're at 48 at the moment. Kevin Castanero, the great Count Pagan, Maddox Monroe, whatever you're going by tonight, Kev. Kevin's commission list is open. Official announcement coming tomorrow for the mailing list, but you guys all get advance notice. So Cam at inkyknuckles.com to reserve your spot. Like we said, Kevin is leveling up in a big way. Magic powers with becoming a dad. It must be that dad strength or something. But Kevin rules, and really excited to see what he does next, but really excited for you guys to get some of his original art in your hands. Because Kevin was actually the first guy. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kev, you were the first guy I ever worked with on this crazy original art representation. I guess, yeah, you and I back in the day. But so we've seen a lot of Kevin's art, kind of seen his progression and his journey. And I don't know if I've ever been as impressed with a stack of original art of his as I was with this latest round of commissions. Just mind was blown. So Kevin Castanero commission list is open. Marcial Toledano, there will be a limited thing coming up soon, but I can't give any guarantees on that. Vlad, Legostaev, our good friend, buy some of his art, buy any art from the site, and proceeds will go to help him. The reason I kind of bring some of this up, even just the simpler things, there's just some people we know in Ukraine. There's been some conversations, and there's just a lot of beyond the absolute horror of what's going on. There's just very simple day-to-day things they either don't have access to, or access is extremely limited, or just simple things that we all take for granted, that everyone takes for granted day to day. So just kind of a stark reminder that, you know, the horror, everything, it affects every moment of every day for them. And they're just trying to do a little bit to help out and help our good pal Vlad, because he's been nothing but awesome. He's been awesome to me ever since I've known him, since we collaborated on that story a while ago. He brings a lot of people a lot of happiness with his art and his stories, and really want to just continue to see him be in a position, being able to create again and go like that. So like I said, proceeds from any sale on the site go to Vlad, the Inky side, and then if you buy any of his art, especially too, that'd be great support for him. So Kevin's list, that's the big one tomorrow. Another one I just want to make a quick announcement on, Night Hunters by Alexis Zirot. The trade came out a little while ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but talking to Alexis today, we're going to have a Night Hunters drop soon. So you guys should read this book, because it's awesome. It's Alexis to a T. I always get his stuff is very immersive. I find myself living in these worlds when you read Alexis's work. It's so unique and distinct. But chatting with him today, we're going to have an art drop. Book's gorgeous, very much Alexis is hyper stylistic, you know, line work and just the motion. Really, really cool stuff. So read Night Hunters if you haven't already, and we're going to have an art drop coming up right away. So, and lastly, I think I made chatting the Connor Williamson commission list is full at the moment, but keep an eye on that. We're going to kind of be making an announcement with Connor pretty soon. We're going to have those commissions to share shortly. I think people are going to freak out a bit, because Connor is unbelievable. And if you guys are inclined, if you're not familiar with Connor's work, and this is one thing our pal Kelly reminded me, was that I should post the links in the chat to anything we talk about, in case anyone misses something or we kind of breeze through a topic. I know when Kevin and Brian Level were chatting, we got about a dozen horror movie recommendations, and I don't think I put any of them down. But if you guys aren't familiar with Connor's work, check out that link. He has some books available. Bradley of Him and Antigone are his two books, my favorites. He does a little sketch in them, and when I say little sketch, he does something that is really, really cool. And the books are beautiful, surreal. I know some of you may not be familiar with them, but check out that link below. And if you want to grab a couple books, snag them while you can, because I think it's all out of print, and that might be the only spot to get Bradley of Him and Antigone. And when I ordered both my copies not that long ago, I didn't really realize that he did a sketch in them. And until I saw that it was a personalized sketch, I didn't realize. I thought that was just the front, like the front inside cover of the book, until I realized that it was an original ink and, you know, washed drawing. So check Connor's work out. You will not read anything else like it out there. I talked about Alexis's work being very immersive. I find that with Connor's too. He pulls you into these worlds of his, and it's an experience, and it's awesome. So check that out. That commission list was limited, but it's closed at the moment. We'll be making an official announcement. And yeah, so that's that, guys. If I think Bill's stream is still going on, my apologies. I shouldn't double up like this. Just there's always seems like there's a YouTube stream every night. I think Felix had an unboxing last night. Trying not to go the same nights as other guys, but sometimes the schedules get a little crossed. But we'll straighten that out and kind of go from there. So thank you, Kev. Thanks for all the wonderful art, and can't wait to see what people commission from you. So thanks, guys. Always great to chat. Have a great night, and just hit me up with any inquiries about anything. And Kev's commission list is open. So cheers. Have a good night.